Welcome to SwillinGrog's wonderful world of beer. Today I'll be reviewing this beer, Hite Dry Finish D, 4.8% alcohol by volume, brewed and canned by the Hite Brewery Company of Seoul, South Korea. Now I went through a bit of an ordeal to get this beer. Although it became available through Dan Murphy's, it was a bit of a challenge to get because I had to actually purchase it online. I was told by Dan Murphy's that they'd only be stocking it in select New South Wales stores. So being here in Queensland, I had no choice but to order it online, which I didn't mind doing, seeing I was very keen to procure a case of it. But oddly, it took nearly a week for me to get a hold of it. Well, actually over a week. It took 6 days for them to deliver it, and whoever was delivering it, I think some agent of Australia Post, failed to actually read the delivery instructions, which were to just leave the case at the front door if site, being this house, was unattended, but they failed to do so. So I had to wait till the following Saturday morning to actually pick it up. So yeah, I was a little cheesed off by that whole experience, as you would expect. Anyway, that's enough babbling about my Hite experience so far. Let's get stuck into the actual review and see what this beer is actually like. Alright, so as you can see, it comes in a lovely 355ml can. It's been nicely chilled. It's got a lot of condensation on it, which gives you a real indicator, as has this glass, this majestic pub glass, which really gives you an indication as to how hot it still is here in Australia, even on an overcast day like today. Alright, so I'm just giving it a nice pour. Alright, not being too aggressive, but gee whiz, it's getting a good head there. Alright. Let's have a look. Okay, so yeah, we've got a very as far as the appearance goes, a very clear, yellow golden appearance. It's quite effervescent. I mean, there's a lot of carbonation there. A nice stream of it actually, right in the middle of the glass, and yeah, very frothy, bright white head. I think when I poured it, there was over 3 fingers. I think it's dissipated quite quickly to 2, but yeah, gee whiz, it's a very frothy, bright white head. All right, let's just pour out the remainder of the can. All right, got it all in there. I must say that looks really good, even on a day like today. Okay, so we've talked about the appearance, so I think it's time we moved on to the aroma. Ooh, I nearly snorted some of it then. Okay, well, what I'm getting, as far as the smell goes, is, very strong aroma of, toasted grains there. Yeah. And, some sweet barley malt, and a sort of fainter smell of sort of something fruity, almost like green apple or grapes, actually. Green, yeah, I would say green apples or green grapes, and an even fainter smell of grass. But yeah, I mean, I'm expecting, with this being a lager, that it's going to be very malt forward. So anyway, I think that brings us to the most important part of the review, the taste test. So to you, the audience, a huge cheers to you all. Let's dive in. Alright, well, it certainly lives up to its name. It has a very dry finish, perhaps the driest finish that I've ever actually tasted in a beer. So there you go, folks. It definitely does live up to its name. Also on the topic of the finish, when it does dry out, There's definitely a lingering sort of taste of bread. It's got a very bready sort of residual sort of taste to it, which I really do like. I mean, in terms of its taste, up front, of course, you're getting those semi-sweet grains there. It's got a very even for its style, I know it's not a malt liquor or anything, but sort of like a malt liquor, it's got a very sort of, uncompromising, no apologies, sort of, straight up beer flavour to it, which, I really like. Anyway, I think it's time for another gulp. Yes, well, it's, certainly, it's certainly holding that taste profile. It's, a really delicious lager, without a doubt. And, it's, although it seems quite carbonated, it goes down quite smooth. I'm not really feeling, the need to burp or anything like that. Yeah, it's, I would call it light-bodied, but it's still got a lot of body. It's not, watery in any way. It's just one of those lagers that has all those lager characteristics that one looks for. It's, very crisp, it's very clean, and it's very refreshing, and it is incredibly dry. Yeah, I mean, if you do get a chance to check this out, folks, I think you're going to be impressed. So, yeah, I mean, it's really something, and, there's no off flavours about it, as I say often, there's nothing offensive about it flavour-wise. What would I say in terms of its drinkability? Well, it's very drinkable, of course. It's certainly one that you could session at 4.8% ABV. The price point is pretty darn good. If you could actually go to Dan Murphy's and buy it in store, I'm certain that overseas it would be also quite reasonably priced. So yeah, it's got a hell of a lot going for it, folks. So yeah, let's hope that they do actually start stocking it. Well, Dan Murphy's I'm talking about. Let's hope that it does find its way into the majority of their stores. I think that they're really losing out actually with only having it available in select New South Wales stores, because the Dan Murphy's that I generally go to, the one at Sunnybank, is actually surrounded by a huge Asian population, and I'm certain that they would sell many cases of this. But yeah, perhaps their people there failed to do their research, but it's not really my job to be telling them. But anyway, if someone from Dan Murphy's is watching this, then I think you need to consider stocking this at the Sunnybank store. Not just for me, but for all those Asian folks that really do love their Hite dry finish D. Alright, so I think I've babbled on enough about this great beer. I'll have one last gulp, and I'll be giving it a score out of 10, of course. Alright, well, all in all, it's an excellent lager. You really can't go wrong with this one. I don't find anything wrong with it. It just checks all the boxes for me. So, I'd be more than happy to give it a 10 out of 10. Much like the score, I think I gave the Hite, if I remember rightly, I think I gave the Hite Ice Point, or just the regular Hite, a 10 out of 10 as well. So a great beer all around, and yeah, I'm going to really enjoy drinking the remainder of this carton, or case, as those of you in America would refer to it as. Alright, so thanks for joining me once again for another episode of SwillinGrog's Wonderful World of Beer, and until next time, fare thee well, all.